Hey everybody, I'm Sifu Z.
And I'm Johan.
And we're at the Colorado Kwoon here in Denver. This is the Introduction to Wing Chun series, and we're coming towards an end of the series. But don't worry, I've got more for you. It's coming up, so stay tuned. The previous lesson I implied or sort of introduced today's lesson. Talked about how important it is to communicate effectively by way of good audio and good video. And the reason is because Wing Chun is a form of physical communication, so people need to be able to see you really well. And also because we're talking about it, they need to hear you, and it needs to be pleasant, right? This is a beautiful wing martial art, so it should be pleasant. I want to talk about, or at least introduce to you, the profound nature of Wing Chun. Like I said, Wing Chun is a physical form of communication. Usually when people hear that, they think of dance, right? That's a very popular form of physical communication. When I say physical communication, you have like audible forms of communication, right? Then you have visual, just the visual cues, and reading, that's another form, right? Written. So that's what I mean by form of communication. Wing Chun is a physical form of communication. Now, it's different from dance. One being that most dance is a cooperation. And the end result of Wing Chun isn't dealing with a cooperative partner, let's say, right? So it's very different in that sense. But it goes even deeper than this. And that is, it's a physical form of communication in that it's the physical body communicating with your brain. It's the physical body educating your brain, your own body educating your brain. Let that sink in for a second, right? Because usually we think of it in the other way. Our brains tell our bodies what to do. But cognitive science and neuroscience has sort of shown that there's a problem with thinking things work like that exclusively, because they don't work like that exclusively. And in fact, when you think about it, there's many instances where the body informs the brain, right? Many instances. So in Chinese, we have a concept called Wu Wei, where you learn something well enough that your brain isn't really even paying attention to it. You're just automatically and effortlessly doing whatever the task might be. So that's sort of an ancient example of the concept. The more recent experiment that sort of proves this concept of the body informing the brain is the monkey experiment, where you can look this up online. If I can find it, I'll even link it. But they wire, electrodes in the monkey's brain, and then the monkey getting a banana. And they found that the monkey reached for the banana, I'm loosely quoting this, 6 seconds before the brain knew about it. So, and think about it. We do so many things without thinking, right? The body does so many things without thinking. So, there's this profound concept of Wing Chun that our bodies have something to tell our brains, or can. That is if our bodies observe certain postures, because these postures are ancient, 400 years Wing Chun, 8,000 years Hindi. It could be even older. But these are postures that transcend language and the written word. And they're universal postures, unique to the human species. And they have a lot to tell us. And what they have to tell us is a story that is both ancient and eternal, yet unique to each individual. Think about how profound that is already, right? So, Wing Chun winds up being more than just physical training. It's also psychological training, emotional training. It's getting deep. Don't worry, this is just the intro. So we say Wing Chun is a physical form of communication. All right, so what are we communicating? Wing Chun, postures, I'll clue you in. Wing Chun is, of many things, an expression of integrity. It's an expression of structure. So what do I mean by integrity? Because we don't want to be too ambiguous here. What do I mean by integrity? We mean structure. What structure? Human structure. Because Wing Chun is very human-centric. So it's an expression of human integrity. Now, what is it expressing? Z, I thought you weren't going to be ambiguous. It's expressing a method of attaining our humanity. I told you it was going to get deep.
You did.
So this is what I got from Wing Chun at a very early point. It might have been immediate, right? But then my ability to communicate, well, you got to get good at your Wing Chun, because Wing Chun is what? A form of communication, right? So I had to, I might have gotten it, but I didn't really have it to the point. It took a while of training to be able to have command of that form of communication. And you can't BS it, right? Whereas intellectual endeavors, you can often BS. That's a whole nother topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But with Wing Chun, we have this wonderful vetting system, checks and balances. It's a very, it's set in stone, these postures, Ban Sao, Tan Sao, Fu Sao. So, you know, it has to fit within that framework. And it's very easy to check your idea, your concept of integrity against another practitioner's in a very civilized and respectful manner. This could easily translate into, are you balanced psychologically
Right.
and emotionally?
Yeah.
Right? So we can take this physical practice, the body, informing the brain, the mental, the mind, the emotion. That's fascinating. The body, through these ancient postures, educating our brains, our mind, our emotions. Huge, huge stuff. So give that a listen. If this is kind of confusing to you, do you think it was confusing?
No, but you have to, listen to it, and you have to train in order to start understanding.
Okay.
Over time, I would think,
Okay.
you definitely
Now, the nice thing is you can hit the rewind button.
Yes.
And
I
I think
would.
you're right. You do have to suffer through listening really closely
Yes.
to the words that I'm saying here, and really not be distracted by trying to intellectually kind of go deep here, and
Right.
psychologically and intellectually going deep here. All right. If you have anything to add to this, if you have questions, comments, you know where to put them. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, hit the notification button. You can join us at, well, if you want more information, you go to sifuz.com. That's also where you can get these training shirts. These are the Manikawa training shirts. In the back it says, what's that? What does it say in the back? That's right, Manikawa, Hawaiian style, Wing Chun Kung Fu. Yeah. So I can now say, because this is the first time we've gotten our hands on these, they are very nice quality. I like them. I'm happy with them. They've got nice rolled edges to the sleeves and the collar here. And it's thin, kind of nice and thin for the summertime. Our Wing Chun Manikawa gal is sort of off-centered. It's kind of cool, kind of weird, but kind of cool. And if you want to join us regularly, you can start joining with us for as little as $1 a month. And you can do that over at patreon.com/SifuZ. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution for any amount, you can do so at paypal.me/Sifu. That's SifuZ. That's capital S, lowercase IFU, uppercase Z, all one word. Again, that's paypal.me/SifuZ. All right, we'll see you next lesson. We're going to do one more of these to sort of cap everything that we've done, and then I'm going to introduce the new series to you that we'll be offering to the public. All right, see you next lesson.